So we can do what's Hondo on the mic from Leo's Paradise. Random stream drop like a Dragon Ball fight. No line, clan stream stacking up, but here's a twist in time. Freestyling on the deck like Luffy's punchline. The channel's fascinating, Zoro sword swings. Game and pop culture, it's the chaos he brings. Talking movie reboots, superhero hype. Hondo passing the mic, now Bishop's in sight. Cutting flip screen, frame by frame, I align. Laying bass lines heavy, keep the rhythm divine. Dropping 5 videos, can't keep up with the pace. Pass the mic back, Leo's leading the chase. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. No script, just a freestyle ride. Mirrorcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life. Off the rails, no script, just a freestyle ride. Nerdcore king, let the randomness collide. Planning on Leo's got the flow to entice. It's words of paradise, the chaos comes to life.
And welcome back to the lunch hour. How are all you vital idols doing? How the hell is that happening to my camera? Anyway, look at this. It's Saturday, final day of the week. We in it. We got a hell of a packed day, so let's start the day off right. Mad shout out to those of y'all that showed up in Neon Leon last night. And look at that. Your boy, I made it on time to my own stream on Saturday. It's a Christmas miracle. Alright, who we got in here already? What of you vital idols are in the house already? We got EB, first and foremost, bringing up PETA. Literally up first story of the day. Literally trespassed. PETA literally trespassed to steal family pets from private properties, and they would kill the pets within 24 hours. Yeah, PETA's kind of the devil. I cannot in good conscience understand how anybody is let's say you're one of those that give a shit about, animals and whatnot, which is a totally fair thing to care about. I give a shit about my own animals. I love my own animals. But with all the information around PETA, how anyone can in good conscience support them is beyond me. Demon Carol's in the house, and he thought he was first because the live chat is in the top chat. How you doing, Demon Carol? Peepers the Titty Kitty is here. Roadkill 101, hail to you. Suino says, howdy, y'all. Melissa Lord, hey, Leon with the hearts, the Tinkerbell, the blowing kiss emoji, you love to see it. Akuma Productions Music Group, Rick Costa. Guys, well, since PETA seems to be what folks are talking about in the chat, why don't we just start with that story? I say that as if you guys made the decision. Well, we were going to start with that story anyway, because as you know, we drop in when we do my homies video reactions first. We always start every Leon's lunch hour with a reaction from the homies, and I forgot to turn on the chat. There we go. All right, now y'all can see your chat. Wait, no, you can't. What the hell? Where'd it go? Come on now, don't be like this. There it is. All right. Yes, we start off with the homies reaction first, and so yeah, we have our boy 8-Bit Aaron. Let's do a refresh on this real quick, just because YouTube likes to be retarded, and he claims that PETA just went after Mario Kart, and I sort of did read this story, and if it is what I think it is absolutely hilarious. All right, so let's just sink our teeth, dive right into it, because we got a lot to go over today. Not only this, I mean, we got Hasan Piker drama, which, frankly, is just kind of an excuse. It's more about his fans than him, from what I understand, but it's an excuse to dunk on Hasan Piker, and I will always take that. And then we got other more political and pressing stories, so let's just get into it. PETA is, in fact, anti-human. Couldn't agree more. All right, let's go, son.
You can't make this stuff up, guys.
No. You can't be starting a video like that without addressing the elephant in the room. Eric, what the hell, dog? What the hell? Why did he shave, guys? Why did Eric shave? This isn't okay. Like, bro, if you're going to shave, if you're going to, like, trim up or whatnot, fair, like, go to a barber or something, homie. This ain't it. Eric should know better.
All the problems in the world right now, from broken online games to insane corporate greed, PETA has decided that the real threat to society right now is a cartoon cow in Mario Kart world. Yes, friends, buckle up. PETA has sent an official protest letter to the big N Nintendo because the
Bro, what kind of bull PETA thing they got? Nintendo don't even give a fuck about its own fans, let alone, like, protest activist groups.
scooter riding fan favorite cow in the game has a nose ring, Alyssa Mercante style. Not blood, not violence, not microtransactions. A tiny piece of pixel jewelry. You can't make this up, guys. PETA is coming after Mario Kart World because of a nose ring on a cow, on a bovine.
I love this, dude. Like, this is a special level of performative outrage that certain rage bait grifters on YouTube or journalists and whatnot aspire to. Like, this is that stairway to heaven for virtue signaling and performative outrage. Like, fucking Eric already mentioned Alyssa Mercante. Alyssa Mercante don't have shit on PETA when it comes to performative outrage. This is kind of amazing. What up, Netflix forum?
Fine. And yes, while the rest of us are enjoying the Nintendo Switch 2, we're racing around as the cow, as Mario, Luigi, you name it, PETA just can't stand it.
I'll be real. I would never. I'm one of those dudes that in Mario Kart, I got a selection of all of like 3 or 4 people I'll play as, man. I'll play as Mario. I'll play as Luigi. I'll play as Boo. That's really about it. Maybe there's some others, but like, who is choosing the cow when they play Mario Kart anyway?
They're absolutely triggered, sending an official letter of demand, demanding that the cow be redesigned. We're going to talk about this, guys, because apparently
I want to see this letter. I want to see this letter so bad.
Ring is
what
too
up, AJ?
For 2025 standards. In this video, we're going to break down the ridiculous letter. We're going to roast PETA's logic, and we're going to ask the big question.
Don't say roast. You can't quote unquote roast PETA the same way you would roast animals. Hey, Big Eric, you filthy fucking meat eater. What up,
Is there
Jamma?
anything that PETA won't complain about? This ain't the first time they've come after Mario. What's next? Canceling
really?
Donkey Kong for Primate.
This isn't the first time PETA's come after Mario. When did PETA come after Mario before?
It's in forced labor on Bonanza, demanding Yoshi stop carrying baby Mario around because it's unethical. PETA, you are retarded. I was browsing X, as always, and I saw this, and I was like, what in the world is going on? You can see Culture Crave put PETA calls for Nintendo to redesign the Mario Kart World cow without a nose ring. Nose rings are used by the meat and dairy industries to exploit, to control, and even drag animals to their devs. Leave the ring to Sonic and let cow breathe free.
Bro, PETA ain't gonna be out here cosplaying as Sonic, man. Shut the fuck up. I guarantee you half these Karen busybodies that run PETA don't even know that Sonic grabs rings. They just refer to as coins. Get the fuck out of here. Rings are used by the meat and dairy industries to exploit, control, and drag animals. Yes, we are all aware that the cows are not born with these rings. Although I will say, nose rings like this do look better on cows than on feminists. That is assuming you've got the ability to denote cows from feminists.
Oh my dear God. Isn't it kind of weird that the same wokies that are like in support of like PETA and stuff, they have nose rings themselves? Just an observation.
Right.
And of course they're getting cooked in the comments. Shout outs to Sevi, says, can PETA be more lame? Please, we're gonna go ahead and like that. Cinemara says maybe PETA doesn't know that the cow identifies itself as transgender.
Bro, how can anyone hate X? Like even if you're a liberal fucktard, right? How can you hate X? You don't see this level of comedy on Blue Sky. Sometimes to feel better about life, I just scroll through X.
Feels to know that PETA is a big trolling company, but I can't prove it. I mean, they're getting absolutely cooked and destroyed. PETA's whining about a Mario Kart cow's nose ring.
No, Cryptid Manga. Cows aren't feminists. Cows actually do good for men. They
While
feed
their
us.
own shelters kill thousands of animals a year, spares the fake outrage. You got real blood on your hand. They'll do everything but save animals. I mean, PETA went after Mario 3 and Mario World and all that because of the Tanuki suit. Remember, like, 2010, 11?
Alright, who was it that said this? Yeah. Snake Doctor, the flying squirrel. So, the Tanuki suit. PETA really went after Mario for a fucking squirrel costume? That's kind of amazing. Jesus Christ.
They went after New Super Mario Brothers U because of the flying squirrel Tanuki outfit. Yeah, they even made a Flash game about it. So this ain't the first time. So here's the official letter, right? On their website. I'm going to leave a link down below so you guys can go and laugh at it. Here's a cow with a...
Damn! Now that is feminism evolved. Like when you hear Frieza be like, this ain't even my final form, this is like a feminist final form. This shit looks like some Hellraiser, Cenobite pinhead shit on the face of a fucking woman.
Spiked nose ring. Keep in mind that the one on Mario Kart World is not a spiked nose ring. In their letter, this letter that we're looking at to Nintendo's
no goddamn way, Demon
PETA
Carol.
warns
That's
that
amazing.
Nose rings are used by the meat and dairy industries to exploit and drag animals to their death. You heard that right. Like it said on the tweet, somewhere out there, a farmer is supposedly taking notes from Mario Kart to learn how to oppress livestock. That's how wild these...
Now, I'm not here to sort of judge all farmers or put all farmers in the same, camp or category or whatnot, but as someone that grew up in the Midwest, that still lives in the Midwest, that grew up out in the middle of nowhere, out in the woods, out in the country, surrounded by a lot of farmland, I ain't ever known a farmer, good old farmer Mooneyham when I was growing up. That was the farmer whose property was butt up against mine growing up with my parents. Good old farmer Mooneyham had a lot of cows and whatnot. I never once in my life saw Farmer Mooneyham play fucking Mario Kart. It'd be real cool if he did, but I never saw it.
guys are. Like, as far as, like, logic and train of thought goes, this cow, who, let's be clear, is not real, has exploded in popularity. They're, like, the most popular character in the game.
Why?
That's on the brand new Nintendo Switch 2. They're even becoming, like, a meme superstar on social media. But while gamers are laughing and racing through the Mushroom Kingdom and all the wacky tracks, PETA's...
Bro, I really hope this is 8-Bit Eric's own gameplay and that he actually kind of fucking sucks at Mario Kart. Like, 7th place, dog? Come on, man.
busy demanding that Nintendo redesigns the cow so it can race freely without painful reminders. Guys, this is a cartoon cow, okay? It's retarded logic. Oh, this nose ring in this video game needs to be removed. It's like, okay, yeah, because every time you see that adorable...
Here's what I want done. Here's my pitch to Nintendo. Put in a patch that removes the nose ring for one day. Let PETA celebrate their dub. Then the very next day, another patch, another update that makes the nose ring even bigger. Maybe add like a fucking $2 DLC for the spike nose ring. Like make PETA think they got a dub just to fucking double down, nay, triple down with paid DLC for an even bigger nose ring.
Animated bovine zoom past you on the track while you're playing online, you suddenly start thinking about corporate farming practices, right?
What up,
Let's
Michael?
take a look at their letter, guys, because this is hilarious. This is literally lolcow territory. It says, "Dear Mr. Fur..."
Okay, come on. How are you gonna say lolcow and not address that you said lolcow? God damn it, Eric.
Kawa, greetings. I'm writing on behalf of People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. PETA entities have more than 10 million members and supporters globally. There's 10 million of y'all? Are you kidding me? I've never actually met a PETA member. If there's 10 million of you guys, I've not met a single one.
I've never met a PETA member either.
HERD.
Although apparently Billie Eilish is a member of PETA. I don't know if this is true or not. Just because you see it on the internet doesn't mean it's true. But I saw this post on X literally yesterday. There was supposedly a quote from Billie Eilish saying like, "Why do you guys have to eat meat? Why can't you just eat chips or something?" And it was sponsored by PETA. Like, oh honey, it's retarded. Like, who on God, even if you were an advocate for PETA, why on God's green earth would you think you could get the same nutrients from fucking potato chips as you could meat?
New star in Mario Kart World, Cow. She's already winning hearts everywhere, including ours.
Do you think so, Michael? Do you really think that's
true? One
true?
detail has us hitting the brakes. The brass ring in Cow's nose. Would you please show empathy towards bovines and remove the nose ring? Here's why this is so important. Like, it's almost like, are they self-aware? This literally feels like it's parody. It literally feels like they're just being sarcastic and trying to be
Agreed,
funny.
Carol.
And honestly, at this point, it
And
feels like
mashed
they're
potatoes.
just trying to go viral.
And baked potatoes.
by
Potatoes
writing
is great in
something
general.
that's so hilariously, like, ridiculous. So they go on to say the whole thing about they're exploited and that these brass rings are crudely stabbed through the sensitive septum of cows and bulls, which can cause lasting...
Bro, I have a hot take. I'm gonna have a hot take because people are like, "Oh, I'm against like factory farming and shit like that." Like, guys, I'm gonna be real. I don't fucking care. Like, so long as I can get good, at least decent quality meat and get it for a reasonable price, I don't give a fuck. Humans are the top of the evolutionary food chain for a reason.
Pain and discomfort. The dairy industry will also clip spiked nose rings on baby cows so that the comfort and act of nursing from their mother causes her pain and the baby's rejected and kicked away. To control bulls, a chain might be fastened from the nose ring to the bull's horn for even more pain-driven control.
I mean, pain is a powerful motivator. Pain is a powerful motivator. You want to know what my dad did when I was a kid and would bully my little brother? Beat my ass. You know what I eventually learned to stop doing? Stop bullying my little brother. Why? Because I would remember that I'd be put in pain because he would beat my ass. Like, if that works on bulls, I'm down.
None of this has anything to do with Mario Kart, but go off, PETA. The brass ring in cow's nose glosses over real-world violence and cruelty to animals. That's why we're asking you to give this beloved bovine a small but meaningful upgrade. Remove the nose ring and let cow race freely without any painful reminders.
What up,
of
LMA?
the industries that treat animals like profit-making machines. Every animal someone, so leave the rings to Sonic and let cow breathe free. This is Joe Bartlett, Senior Vice President of Marketing Engagement at PETA. Hey, they went out and made a press release and everything. They got to be just doing this for viral attention at this point. Honestly, if PETA really wants to save animals, maybe they could start by actually saving our brains from their endless PR stunts. Like I said, this has to be a PR stunt all the way. And again,
I mean, part of me is like, yeah, this is definitely a PR stunt. This is absolutely a PR stunt. PETA's retarded. You know, there's no way they think they can actually affect change and get Nintendo to remove this. But the other part of me thinks that they are so, like, lost in their own animal cruelty-free sauce that they truly care about this. Like, they think that if Nintendo removes the fucking nose ring from the cow in Mario Kart, that will somehow get farmers to stop having again, do they believe this? I hope not. I truly hope not. I can't see how they can believe this, but part of me does think that there's at least a portion of them that are 100% serious about this.
and like I said, maybe they'll go after Donkey Kong next, right? Donkey Kong Bonanza had all of the primates in the game working in the mines. That's normalizing primate labor, right? We can't have primates actually doing labor that humans need to do. We can't have the bareback gorilla go out there and actually mine for us. And again, like I said, the whole we're carrying.
Speaking of the bareback gorilla, anyone checked on our boy Booty Adams lately? Just curious.
Baby Mario with Yoshi and all this and that. Now, Nintendo has not responded to any of this yet. All right, they have not.
Like I said, Nintendo didn't even respond to their fans. Why would they respond to this?
To any of this yet. I honestly don't think they will. I don't even remember them responding to PETA any of the previous times that they've been attacked. I think they even went after them for Pokemon at one point.
Yes, they did. That was a thing.
If history tells us anything, though, about this, they're probably just going to smile and nod and let PETA keep being triggered. Like, I can't even imagine anybody in support for this. I'm honestly curious. I'm curious enough. Let's go check out their Twitter account or their X. Here's the meme they made. Hey, Nintendo, let cow race free. Remove her nose ring. They went out and made.
What about the cow's freedom of choice, PETA? What about that? What if the cow got this voluntarily because of style? PETA not even thinking about what the cow wants. They're just projecting
Meme out of it, an image out of it. This is actually adorable, to be completely honest. Let's see if anybody even responds to it. I mean, we got an Animal Crossing one they made. Nintendo wouldn't put Isabelle in a torture device, right? So why do it to cow?
I mean, did PETA really make an Animal Crossing reference? What fucking Gen Z motherfucker is working at PETA? It's almost impressive.
Dang.
Yeah, the cows rebelling against their overbearing parents.
They don't get any kind of traction. Look at this. Only 65 responses, 38 retweets, 83 likes. No social media presence.
No, but you didn't mention. Hold on. Back it up a little.
Social media presence. Look, only 4 likes on this one. No, so.
All right, so the other one had 12,000 views, had 86 likes, 412,000 views. Yeah,
Social
the
media
art is
presence,
out
4
there.
likes, 4 retweets, 2 replies. Can't even read them. That is bad. How many followers does PETA have? 1 million followers, and they got 0 traction on
Here it is. Yeah, see that way. It had 12,000 views.
social media. Literally nobody outside of these guys that are idiots care. Nintendo is not promoting torturing animals. This is a cute design.
No,
for
they're
an
promoting
animated
torturing their own
cow
customers.
that everybody loves. Nobody literally has a problem with this. But of course, PETA just does this for attention. Again, this is absolutely a PR stunt. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I just had a hamburger not too long ago, so cow tasted great in my stomach. Subscribe if you're brand new, guys, and don't forget to hit that like or that dislike. I'll see you on the next one.
You love to see it. I like starting off our Saturday with a bit of a fucking meme video. Shout out to 8-Bit Eric. He a homie. Make sure you sub to his channel if you haven't. 8-Bit Eric's a homie. Now let's get in to the actual content for the day. Unhinged Hasan Orbiter's virtue signaling hilariously backfires. Alright, crew. Alright. It's time. Mike from PA. Now, Mike from PA is an unhinged, unwell, anti-Semitic, Jew-hater, supreme individual. Does he believe this stuff, or does he just say shit because it'll get Daddy Hassan's attention and get him lots of inorganic views on Twitch? I don't know. But any chance we can get to dunk on Hasan, dunk on his absolutely ridiculous followers and orbiters and the clout chasers that just suckle at the Hasan teat for that little bit of engagement and viewer milk. Oh, let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So today we're going to be talking about a very embarrassing situation involving Hasan. Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here.
God damn it, YouTube.
So today we're going to be talking about a very embarrassing situation involving Hasan Piker and one of his biggest orbiters, Mike from PA. Now, specifically, Mike from PA recently tried to dunk
What up,
and
Jim?
virtue signal on a teenager's post on Twitter, which would go absolutely...
Man, dudes out there in the chat, let me tell you, before you respond to anyone on X, go to their bio and see they have their age listed. They're under the age of 18, ain't even worth it. Ain't even worth it.
Absolutely horribly for him, to the point where he felt so ashamed of the negative responses, he decided to hide them and pretend like nothing is happening. Now, before we get into today's video, as always, make sure to like, comment, or subscribe so you're in...
Dude, I feel like this dude needs the nose ring that the Count from Mario Kart, that would complete his soy boy beta cuck ensemble, as if he got the nose ring.
Engaged viewer in the
What up,
eyes
Yamado?
of YouTube. That is their new system. They might not count your view, even if you watch the entire video without doing those things. That's the new system. It annoys me too, but...
A lot of larger creators are saying this. I don't know if it's true or not. But while I got all y'all here, I guess it does, you know, it is worth mentioning. It does bear fruit. If y'all watch my videos and whatnot, there is this rumor going around. It's been persisting in the YouTube circles for about a month or so now. YouTube has stopped counting views that don't have some form of engagement, whether it be a like, a comment, a share, something like that. I don't think it's true. I won't lie. I don't think that you can have, you know, like people getting thousands of views and then you look at it and there's not thousands of likes, thousands of comments. But just in case, if y'all be watching my videos or whatnot, drop a like, a comment, something, just in case. It would be appreciated.
It's worth reminding you guys to do that, and to do that to other content creators in their videos if you enjoy them. But anyways, we have Mike from PA, the definition of an internet tough guy, someone who goes around threatening other content creators. But at the end of the day, this is the same alpha Mike that we're talking about. This clip is from a few years ago, but it really sums up this guy. And I play this only because he is very, very insecure about this post. And if you share any screenshots of this clip, he will hide it on Twitter within a millisecond.
Oh, dude, Cyberchud, it's better than that. Like, I felt like I made it on YouTube when a bread tuber came after me, put me in their thumbnail, the whole nine, and called me, of all people, a fake Sonic fan. And it was some, like, discount Hasan dude. I mean, it was a big channel. It had, like, 100K subs, something like that. And I had, like, you know, 5,000 or something at the time. and he was coming at me for being a fake Sonic fan and how I was using the Sonic movie for outrage grifting. I was like, how the fuck could I be using the Sonic movie for outrage grifting? I'm a fucking Sonic fan. It's look at my background. Look at the light up Amy and the Sonic poster and Sonic building. It was hilarious. But let me tell you, that beef with that dude brought me the highest viewed videos on my entire channel. 3 of the highest viewed videos on my entire channel. So by all means, bread tubers want to come after me, go for it. I will dunk all day long, son.
That's fine. I think that's fine. So if a guy pays for my tab,
I think I'm getting your attention.
Yep,
Is this Mike from PA? What? Why does he look like a soy Alex Stein? No, he looks like a fat Atman, dude. If Fat Atman, if Alex Stein and the Atman did the fusion dance, this is what you would get. Bro, this, for someone that hates the Jews, he looks really Jewish.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mike from PA, the guy who has openly threatened other content creators. He's advocated for political violence. This guy has a very mean streak in him, but of course, it's a giant tough guy facade that crumbles almost instantly. And one of my favorite clips that I'm always going to play, as with the previous one.
Salty Butterbed, I was on last night. I go from 11:30 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Or 1:30. I go from 11:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. unless we extend the show to about 2:30 a.m. And then I do the lunch hour show every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 1 p.m. So now I'm good. I'm good.
Is this one where a few months ago he advocated and encouraged his audience to conduct citizens' arrests on people he believes are supporting genocide.
All right, hold on. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this seriously for a moment. Citizens' arrests are a thing. Now, I don't know how many of y'all know the rules, the laws, the circumstances, or whatnot around citizens' arrests. I can tell you, as a former cop, not a cop for very long, for those of y'all who know the history, but as a former cop, never do a citizen's arrest. And the reason is because unless you are 100% sure that the law isn't broken and that you have followed the proper citizen arrest protocols, you are subject to being fined, in some states actually subject to being arrested yourself or whatnot, for a false citizen's arrest. You have to be 100% correct for a citizen's arrest to be considered valid. Literally no margin of error whatsoever. Otherwise, your ass is on the chopping block. So I'm going to be real. 9 times out of 10, 99 times, 999 times out of 1,000, it is never worth it to do a citizen's arrest. Because if you do even one thing wrong, your ass is on the chopping block.
You are justified in attempting citizen's arrest. This is not my idea, by the way. On war crimes and genocide, everyone has the right to arrest or detain a criminal. And defending genocide is the same thing as doing it.
No, he is entirely wrong, and I hope to God his entire audience believes him. That way, dude, anyone who's a quote-unquote fan of Mike from PA, which means they're also really a Hasan fan, and they're just watching Mike from PA when Hasan's not streaming. The more of these motherfuckers that try this and then get put in jail or whatnot, or get sued or lose everything, the better the world will be. So yes, all of you watching this dude, yes, try the citizen's arrests on people that are supporting genocide. I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Let's go.
Universal jurisdiction is a legal principle allowing states to prosecute individuals for certain serious crimes such as genocide,
fair
war
enough,
crimes,
Demon
and crime
Carol,
against humanity, regardless of where the crime occurred or the nationality of the perpetrator or victim. And therefore, every human being is instantly deputized in the entire world to take means to arrest that person and take them to The Hague.
And by people supporting genocide, basically it means anyone who disagrees with him politically or just on any...
Bro, AJ making a joke, but that could literally happen. Thought I went after a purse snatcher. Just a trans woman. Bro ended up arresting me. Like, that's fucking hilarious. That is also how it would legit go down.
Sort of an opinion. Also, don't do that. Highly illegal. His understanding of this is as bad as his reading skills. But anyways, what's going on here is this tweet. So this is what we're talking about today. So you have this individual named Nathaniel making an edgy tweet talking about Nazis, and you have people trying to debate him. Understand this is a teenager. I think he's like 14 or 15 years old. And why this particular individual is so relevant is because his father is Destiny. Now, I am not a Destiny.
How you gonna be in the Hasan orbiter sphere and not know you were interacting with Destiny's kid? To be fair, maybe he did know. But why would you be interacting with children, dude? What, like, if you were on X or any social media or video game sphere or whatnot, not just X, if you were anywhere online, guys, just don't interact with kids. It doesn't matter if it's in a positive way, a negative way, if you're talking shit, whatever. It's just not fucking worth it, bro. Destiny's Child, that's
what
clever.
I can understand from a bird's eye view of the situation without knowing anything about their personal life, it seems like their relationship, father and son here, is a bit strained. But anything beyond that is not my business, and I wouldn't know better than anyone else because that's their personal life.
There is kid repellent on the internet. It's called right-wing opinions.
But a lot of people have been not only attacking Destiny, but attacking his son as a proxy because they have a big problem with him. Before there was ever Asmongold derangement syndrome or even Ethan Klein derangement syndrome, for Hasan...
That's a little bit different, Cryptic. Come on now.
His orbiters, what came first was Destiny derangement syndrome. And you can see Mike from PA quoting this teenager saying, "This is child abuse and neglect. Someone needs to intervene and get this underage child off the internet. They are clearly unsafe and in dangerous neo-Nazi communities as an underage child." Now, there's one thing
I'm going to be real. Now, I don't know shit about Destiny's kid. Why? Because I don't spend my time on the internet learning about fucking children. I didn't even know who Lil Tay was until that whole OnlyFans debacle a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. Like, that being said, I can't imagine Destiny's kid is any sort of neo-Nazi territory. He's probably just left of center and to the like far left commies in the Hasan circle. Because he's left of center, he's not left-wing enough, so he's a right-wing Nazi. That's my guess.
I agree with when it comes to Mike's tweet here. Underage children should not be on the internet, especially social media.
True.
I think everyone
But that's
can
up to the
agree on
parents.
that, but it's very rich to see this guy virtue signaling about this particular set of claims here, especially when it comes to these claims of someone being a neo-Nazi. This is the guy who only a few weeks ago was banned on Twitch for calling Jews a demonic ethnicity.
I don't know that anyone that orbits Hasan should use the word demonic. Given their very limited understanding of any sort of religious philosophy or theology or anything like that, I don't know that any of them should be using the word demonic. Just throwing that out there.
Between Arab and Jew. In the days that followed
That's
that,
crazy.
the blessed
Jew is not a fucking ethnic. It is Jewish is not an ethnicity.
Jew is not an ethnic. God damn, this guy is retarded. First of all, yes, Jewish is an ethnicity. It's both an ethnicity and a religion, but that's neither here nor there.
This constructed ethnicity. This demonic ethnicity. Wholly invented.
This is another reminder that people like...
Wait, they're not an ethnicity. This demonic ethnicity is not an ethnicity. Okay, so are they or are they not? Even if they were demonic ethnicity, you just call them an ethnicity. Can you at least get your argument straight?
Mike from PA on Twitter love to call anyone they disagree with a Nazi, but at the end of the day, their rhetoric sounds way more like what a Nazi would say than the people they're accusing of being that specific thing. And yeah, this guy who
Bro, I saw a meme on X yesterday. And it was this girl, like, it was these two girls having a conversation, and there was a girl that was right-wing, although oddly enough, she was on the left side, and there was a girl on the left who was on the right, and the girl, the right-wing girls are like, not even right-wing, just apolitical, but this apolitical girl says in the comic strip, like, I don't vote for either side, because I think that they're both equally bad, and the girl on the right starts freaking out, being, one side has Nazis, like, literal Nazis. It's like, yeah, the left. The left has literal Nazis. The left has the people that want to tar and feather Jews. How is that not the Nazi side? This is not me being like, oh, let's send all of our fucking money to Israel. No, fuck Israel. I don't give a fuck about Israel. Stop sending money. I don't give a shit about Israel, bro. American money needs to go nowhere besides fucking America. But you can't be going around calling everyone on the right Nazis when your side's the one wanting to tar and feather Jews.
says Jews are a demonic ethnicity is now going to preach to you about what's a neo-Nazi,
Fair enough,
neo-Nazi communities or stuff like that. It's very ironic. And also, I look back at some of his tweets, literally 3 years ago, almost to the date, he was calling out people for being anti-Semites. Is this what happens when you surround yourself with people like Hasan?
Yes. So, all right. So this is exactly what happens. So just a few years ago, the left loved them some Jews. Why? Because Jews were a minority. Jews are a minority, and let's be real, Jews are famously left-leaning as a culture. Like, most American Jews are on the left. It is what it is. Like, demographically speaking, Jews are more predominantly left-leaning. So, of course, these Hasan Orbers, of course, these leftists, of course, these fake cultural commentators and political engagement hacks loved the Jews. Until Hasan hated the Jews and like, okay, never mind, we hate the Jews now. Daddy Hasan's new update came in and now we all hate the Jews.
His orbiters, it literally rots your brain to the point where you just go completely mask off like he has in the recent months. But anyways, just in case you were wondering, he got a 1 week ban for that clip. Just 1 week. And honestly, I'm surprised.
It was that long. Bro, Hasan can talk about killing a sitting senator and get a 1-day ban on his day off. But this dude got a week for calling Jews demonic? That's wild.
He got a full week. I thought for sure it was going to be 1 to 3 days. Now,
yes,
typically,
correct.
If you said that and you weren't some favorite on Twitch, it'd be a permaban, right? But from people like Mike from PA, it was a 1 week ban. And like I said, I'm surprised they even gave him that long of ban.
They gave him that long because he's a nobody, let's be real. Mike from PA is a nobody. He would not have any sort of platform or fan base or anything if it weren't for the fact that he suckles the Hatan teat.
Given their history. But as you can see, Nathaniel, Destiny's son, would reply an absolutely ratio. Mike from PA saying, "You put a hit on my father, I don't think you have a say on what a quote-unquote safe environment is for a child." He's not exaggerating.
Damn! First of all, I didn't know Mike from PA put a hit on Destiny. That's funny as shit. But the clapback from this underage teenager, just eviscerating this dude, that's pretty fucking good. That's a good response.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will share this clip again where Mike from PA encouraged his audience and even put out a monetary reward for someone to implicitly game end Destiny.
They're not even running. They're not even like cowering and running away and screaming in fear. There's like, okay, well, they did it. We got our shots. Okay, is this guy done? Oh, shit. Well, okay. Well, we brought the white.
It's called shock, you fucking idiot. It's called shock. Anything that happens, I mean, like, holy shit, guys. If you live in Florida, I have an opportunity for you. If you want to earn $100,000, let me know.
Isn't that ironic?
Ain't no goddamn way that this super hornio bros looking motherfucker has $100,000. And if he does have $100,000, he is really, really bad at being a socialist / communist. Just don't that. He's really bad at the communist game if he has $100,000 and he's not redistributed that wealth. Just saying.
The guy who's claiming child abuse and all these things is the same guy who wanted to encourage his audience with a financial incentive to go out
100,000 Zimbabwe dollars. Yes.
And harm this guy's father. He's now going to preach to this kid and tell him about child abuse and if he's in an unsafe environment. Also, keep in mind, these are the same people whose cohorts and their various communities were responsible for making fake CPS calls on Ethan Klein and his family. They seem to have no problem when that happened, but of course now they're preaching about this. It's very ironic. This guy,
bro, the left eats their own, and to be fair, the right does as well. The right does as well. Look at fucking like Melanie Mack and whatnot, and JDA and all those dumbass fake right-wing grifters coming after people that by and large agree with a lot of their points in terms of get the government the fuck out of shit, but then, they want the government to censor XYZ. So the right eats their own as well. But the left is great about it. The left has mastered the art of eating their own.
Absolute clown. Like, there's no other way to say it.
Yeah, groomer fist.
Mike from PA and anything he does on social media, Twitter in particular, whenever he sees responses he doesn't like, it's so predictable. He hides them. If you look at the main set of comments on his quote, you'll see like, I don't know, a dozen comments on a post that's getting a lot of attention. That's because he hid virtually every single reply. Anything that even had a hint of negativity or criticism towards him. In fact, the first one on the list of hidden replies is the one from Nathaniel, where he's hiding this reply and it's still ratioing him. And you can see the amounts of replies being hidden here. It's insane. Of course.
No, yeah, notice how up top is the hidden replies and everything he's scrolling through. Dude, I'll be real. If you're on X, if you're on the internet, and you hide replies, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, you a bitch, bro. You a absolute soy boy beta male cock bitch. I've never in my life hidden replies on X or YouTube or whatnot. Now, YouTube does auto-censor certain comments. I have to like go in and reactivate them and shit, which is fucking retarded. But I've had some comments that say some straight up heinous shit about me, and I leave that shit up. Why? Because that's freedom of speech, baby. You can say whatever the fuck you want about me. I don't give a shit. That is part of free speech. And yes, he probably manually hid these replies.
Of course there was one of these, right? Every single time. He hates this image, and it's always funny to see that in the hidden replies. But we didn't forget about Hasan Piker. Now, yesterday we talked about this GQ article that he did. He did an interview with them.
Even Hasan's fans were roasting him for this GQ article. It was beautiful.
And it's backfired horribly. Now, a little fun fact about that video I uploaded yesterday, in case you didn't see the pinned comment I made. It took multiple versions of my video to finally get it monetized, because the first couple of versions I uploaded would get auto-demonetized. No matter what I did, YouTube would automatically demonetize it. I think YouTube is doing that because of, I think, this image. That's why it's censored. He's fully...
I mean, YouTube censored Smash 18 for showing Alana Pierce's knees, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Clothes, but his legs are out of it. I don't know.
Agreed, Matt.
YouTube
Agreed.
is not having it. So it took a couple tries to get this video to work yesterday. But anyways, that's what he did. It backfired horribly. If you want to see the full details of that, check out yesterday's video. But Hasan, of course, had something to say about the situation as well, because of course he did. He says it's...
Bro, anytime Hasan comments on a Mike from PA tweet, I'm sure like Mike could be midstream. Hasan will comment on one of his tweets. He'll be like, "Oh, sorry guys, I've got to be right back." And he just starts fucking going at it, right? He just starts fucking, yes, Daddy Hasan fucking commented. Like, just starts cranking one out, bro.
Funny, because he captivated a sizable group of posters on here that, just like his son, referring to Destiny, hate the left more than Nazis and regularly align with Nazis to attack people. This is the least surprising ideological turn. It should be considered child abuse to let his son into his Discord. Again, I agree that minors should not be on social media, but again...
but again, I mean, what I agree with the sentiment, right? Minors shouldn't be allowed on social media in general, like, but by parents' rules, not by fucking government censorship purposes. But Destiny's on the fucking left. Like, Hasan would be a-okay with this motherfucker if he was in his Discord or in his chat. And I'm not just assuming this. Hasan said in a recent stream that while he's against the indoctrination of children, he's okay with it if they're in his chat because it's better they're in his chat than like Asmongold's chat. Like, that's the level of hypocrisy that comes from this insane motherfucker. I'm against the indoctrination of children. They shouldn't be watching political stuff on the internet. Unless it's my political stuff, because then they're getting the right opinions.
And it's
fucking
very rich
retard
to see someone like Hasan and the communities he's associated with talking about child abuse and things like that when they seem to have really nothing to say about the CPS calls made on Ethan Klein and his family. A very disgusting situation. Also, I find it very ironic, kind of in a bit of a detached sense.
I don't know what that is, Netflix foreign.
Hasan would comment on Destiny's son because there was a very funny parallel I drew like a month ago when this whole situation unfolded.
How hilarious is it that the soy boy homo that is Destiny, the literal cuck that is Destiny. I'm not saying that to be insult. Like Destiny is a literal cuck. How hilarious is it that he is the more masculine between him and Hasan? Because at least Destiny has fucked a woman and was able to have a child. Hasan don't even have any kids, right? Like, in terms of which one is more masculine, it honestly is Destiny by default because he has a kid and Hasan doesn't. So that means we have verifiable proof that Destiny has, like in theory, fucked at least one more woman than Hasan has.
For those who don't know, Destiny's son, Nathaniel, he was streaming on Twitch for a while, and he got permabanned when he brought on a toy gun to a stream. Permabanned. Gone forever.
This is true.
Specifically
this is correct.
because of the toy gun he was flashing around on stream. And of course, if you're paying attention over the past couple of weeks, month or so.
To be fair, Demon Carol, even if Mercante did bang fucking Hasan, ain't no kids coming out of that. That shit is drier than the Sahara Desert. Those eggs have long since dried up. And even if they haven't, we know that she would abort said kid.
Hasan actively waved around what ended up being a toy gun. The audience didn't know at the time. He was presenting it as if it was a real gun while threatening multiple content creators, including people he mistakenly identified as people talking smack about him, which ended up being just random people, and essentially showed their face, like this guy's face, who did nothing wrong, to everyone in his audience while waving around a gun, basically saying, come find out.
You know what? When I covered this, because I did, I believe in a stream, I think I did a video on it, I believe in a stream, I did cover the Hasan waving the gun around situation, and y'all were quick to point out that it was a toy gun, that it was a fake gun. I didn't even remember Destiny's son getting banned for the toy gun situation, but looking back on it, like, yeah, why did Destiny's son get a permaban, but Hasan got literally nothing when he was waving around a toy gun saying that he was going to literally kill his detractors?
A crazy situation. He got no ban for this, by the way, but of course, Destiny's son permaban for basically the same action, if not even less, due to the threatening nature that Hasan was going for with his entire escapades here, if you could call it that. But anyways,
Destiny's son is MAGA, really? I'll be real. I don't care. It's not that I don't care about your comment. I don't care if a fucking teenager on social media is MAGA, because teenagers shouldn't be on social media. But that is funny.
Embarrassing situation.
What up,
for
Zach?
Hasan and the Orbiter crew, but hey, that's just another day in the life, I guess. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Destiny's son was talking with Alex Jones' son. That's funny as hell. Alright, before we move on to our next video, And we've got to get like legit political in this next one. Before we get into our next video, I want to remind all y'all that tonight, immediately following Saturday Night Hypnosis in the Discord, we will be doing a War of the Worlds watch party. It'll be the very first watch party that we've ever done in the history of this channel, because y'all hit goal on Wednesday. You filled that fucking goal to the brim. In fact, you got over goal. And so we will be doing a watch party. You voted. War of the Worlds won the vote. So just for those of you that are going to be here in the Discord after Saturday Night Hypnosis, just know that's what we're doing. All right. Let's go full political. I love this channel, Decoy Voice. I don't watch him very often. I should watch him more. And so I was thinking about it last night. I was like, man, I want to watch some Decoy Voice. And I was like, wait a sec. Let's just do it on the stream. Let's do it on the channel. So this is his most recent video. He pulled a machete on the feds. All right. Let's dunk on some retards that are here illegally pulling machetes on the feds. Let's go. Any chance of bringing him on? Who? Any chance of bringing who on? If you mean Destiny's son, never. Not until he's of age. I will never bring minors on the platform. And so even though I am a free speech show, even if you are a viewer and you acknowledge in chat you're under 18, you're getting banned. My show is an 18+ show. So yeah, I will. Oh, you mean bring Decoy Voice on? I sent him a message a while ago, like a month or two ago. Didn't get a response. I would love to have Decoy Voice on the show, any of my shows, whether it be Countercast, whether it be Neon Leon for an interview, the lunch hour stream. Instead of doing reaction videos, I could bring him on for an interview. If you guys want to see Decoy Voice on the show, fucking tag him. Just start blowing up his ex and start tagging him and be like, yo, DM this account right here, and it'd be my account. I would love to bring Decoy Voice on the show. Sorry, we were talking about fucking Destiny's kid, and then you said, "Were you ever talking about having him on?" So I assume that's what you meant. But yeah, Ruin Leon, have Kata on New Black Street. I don't know what Ruin Leon is. Anyway, what up, Dax? Best mod in the whole damn land. Anyway, I would love to have Decoy Voice on the show. If you guys want to see him on the show, fucking tag him on X. And yeah, because I've DM'd him, but I didn't get a response.
Every day the ice raids increase. We're reminded why we needed the ice. Every day the ice raids increase.
Good. Keep increasing. I keep the ice raids increasing. This is what I voted for.
We're reminded why we needed the ice raids in the first place. As despite the Democrats' best efforts, the feds continue to make arrests in Los Angeles until they came across this spry young gentleman that thought he was in the third world and apparently.
Catch you later. Thank you so much for coming by, Demon Carroll. Appreciate you, homie. I've heard of J Concept. I don't think I've ever seen his work, but I've heard of J Concept. I've never heard of Ruin Leon. Yeah, again, tag him on X. Tell them you'd love to see him on my show. Send me their content. I'll react to it, or at the very least check it out. I'm open to having pretty much anyone on the show.
He antagonized federal law enforcement with this machete, to which they quickly caught up with him. And even though he attempted to flee on foot, he was completely surprised to find the feds don't mess around.
You know, it would be a whole lot easier for this motherfucker to run if his pants were not sagging lower than a fucking rapper in 1999.
Pulling up on him with multiple SUVs and agents looking like they're straight out of Call of Duty, unlocking all the premium DLC, as he looks utterly shocked at his arrest. Then the Border Patrol posted this on Instagram.
What up, Miss Sparkles? Alright, while supporting our ICE partners in operations in the Los Angeles area, this hostile subject thought it was a good idea to taunt USBP agents with a machete. Our agents were able to identify this individual thanks to our facial recognition technology. That's scary. And photos from the scene. This subject is a Mexican national, known foot guide. Is a foot guide? I believe a foot guide is somebody. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a foot guide somebody that like boots on the ground, it guides people? Or warns people in advance of ice raids, gets them out of the way of ice raids, things like that. Pretty sure that's what that is. subject notebook guide, and best of all, wanted for burglary in Los Angeles. USBP agents quickly returned to the area to arrest him, but he attempted to flee. Short foot pursuit later, he was in cuffs. Every threat is taken seriously. We will use every tool at our disposal to locate and arrest those who think they can evade justice. Fucking based. Yeah, foot guide, Kata. Yeah. AJR released AJR. I'm not sure who that is. Released new snippets from the upcoming EP. Right on. Yeah, he actually works for the cartel. Correct. Seems like it.
Stating he taunted Border Patrol agents with a machete, but they identified him utilizing facial recognition technology, finding he's a Mexican national already wanted for burglary in LA. Interesting how difficult it is to come by this particular story of a machete-wielding imbecile already wanted for burglary finally getting arrested, as the mainstream media seems very concerned whenever the...
Bro, if you got a warrant out for your arrest for burglary, why would you wave a machete at the fucking police? Or at law enforcement of any sort? Like, this is legit amazing. I love how fucking retarded these people are. Like, the left has to make me understand, why on God's green earth are you capping so hard for illegal immigrants when this is the best they can fucking offer? Like if the highest IQ individuals you guys are busting in are people that are so retarded they'll commit a burglary and then afterwards wave machetes at the cops, I need to at least understand your logic.
Feds make an arrest, but conveniently ignore every time they actually get someone we wouldn't want in our communities. It's almost like this.
Okay, Netflix. It's a rhetorical fucking question.
Selective reporting isn't about protecting the people, it's about something much more nefarious, as LA's top Karen, Mayor Karen, doesn't care about violent criminals hurting citizens, only focusing on protecting non-citizens.
What do you think is the most valuable pushback against things like this for people who object to it?
Well, I can tell you when they were doing the random snatching or kidnappings of people off of our streets, when people gathered, they backed away on many occasions.
Somehow I doubt this, for one. Second, it's not random kidnappings. It's getting rid of people that should not be here.
And so in Los Angeles, we have a rapid response network where everybody is alerted. If you see masked men getting out of unmarked cars, let everybody in the area know.
She said the same thing a month ago.
And so when the raid started, fear spread. The masked men...
Good. When the raid started, fear spread. Good. Make these people fear, bro. Make these people fear. Yes. Yeah, there's a reason motherfuckers don't want to go to Russia or North Korea or anywhere in the Middle East. Shit's called fear, son. Why? Because fear works. Like, fear motherfucking works.
Unmarked cars, no license plate, no real uniforms, jumping out of cars with rifles and snatching people off the street.
But I guarantee you this bitch got armed guards when she goes out and about. She didn't just drive to this MSNBC or this ABC fucking interviews alone, right? She was brought there with bodyguards in tow.
And the same thing a month before that.
I would say stop the raids. Stop the raids, period.
All to have absolutely zero impact on ICE's ability to enforce the law in Los Angeles. I've never seen someone with so much authority speaking on something so excessively and yet consistently accomplishing nothing. It's actually impressive to be this ineffective at anything, as a law of probability says she should have at least accidentally predicted something. But let's...
Dude, how amazing is it to know that, like, gamers have collectively gotten AAA games to flop just by talking shit on the internet with memes, and this dumb broad can't even get her own constituents to listen to her. We live in the best fucking timeline, guys. We truly do.
Let's look at another equally pressing issue in LA, like the rampant homelessness. She briefly visited one of the many homeless encampments in the valley, even posting about her visit on social media.
just imagine all the levels of protection she has off camera. Like, she's hitting here walking through this homeless encampment, dude. And that clean-ass fucking pantsuit? Nah, dude. There's ain't no way on God's green earth she was walking through that shit without, like, again, like someone earlier said, 5 fucking bodyguards behind the camera here. Fully locked and loaded just in case shit goes down. And that's assuming these aren't paid actors in this video here.
Talking about helping 30 people.
I'm standing here today in Van Nuys in one of the most dangerous encampments that I have seen in my time as mayor. It is operations like this that is why homelessness is down for the 2nd year in a row.
Now, one, she brags about homelessness being down, despite Dalton pointing out it may be because of the amount of homeless deaths. As that math suggests there's...
I mean, it's just by the means, right? Like, hey, homelessness is down. Not because of anything we've done, but because they're all fucking dying of starvation and drug overdoses. But homelessness is down. Like, alright. Modern problems require modern solutions, I guess.
More homelessness under her watch. It's just outpaced by the increased homeless deaths under her watch. But Bass doesn't let silly things like facts detract her from bragging about her horrifying failures. As honestly, a large part of the reason I left Los Angeles is because of the homelessness around my apartment. Karen saying she's cleaning up a single encampment is the equivalency of your home having an insect infestation. Sweeping up one tiny corner of your living room, posting on social media how you moved a couple roaches into their own taxpayer-funded apartment, but then opening the front door and leaving out a couple pizzas to make sure you always have an insect problem that you can campaign on fixing, which even
that's a really good analogy. I like that.
Forces local NBC affiliate.
Yeah, California's up their taxes to fix homelessness, and here comes the corporate grip, dude. Not only did it up the like, not only did it not fix the homeless situation, it made it worse. But yet we've seen proof they could fix homelessness in a day when Xi Jinping decides to show up to suckle at the teeth of the Californians. Like, come on now. Who you fooling? Who you fooling? Not us Midwesterners. Not us Midwesterners, or we don't have this problem.
It's to admit the Democrats can't fix this.
And why he believes yesterday's cleanup won't have a long-term impact.
It's just a continuing problem where it gets cleared.
Casual Wednesday ad in the background. Like, this is a real fucking good marketing for middle America. Like, I bet Netflix didn't do this on purpose. How many motherfucking Midwesterners be watching this being like, bro, we're pro-ICE, fuck the homeless, fuck the illegal immigrants. Oh, what's Wednesday? Season 2? Maybe I'll watch that tonight after dinner. Like,
it comes back.
Yes, he did, Sturgeon.
It's bigger. Our mayor says the numbers are down, yet, you know,
base, Melissa.
It's still here.
They do anything they want here.
What up, Piranha Pout and 40K Empress? How are you two beautiful ladies doing?
Less than 2 blocks away on Hollywood Boulevard at Wilton, NBC4 covered a series of fires last year that started in encampments and how the city cleared the encampments just before the annual Ciclavia bicycling event. Johnson.
They care more about cyclers. Motherfuckers on bicycles. Some of the most annoying type of people in the world. And they do about their own, like actual the living conditions of their regular citizens. And California is truly a wonder. Like, I never cease to be impressed at how you made your own bed and have to lie in it sort of mentality like California exists in. It is beautiful.
Says he expects the cycle with encampments disappearing and reappearing to continue.
They can put a band-aid on their problems all they want. Temporarily cleaning up a single section of the city does nothing.
Yes, putting a band-aid on a gangrenous wound.
They're not going to actually criminalize criminally insane drug addicts. It sounds incredibly harsh, but reality oftentimes is. But what's even worse is our leaders actually know how to solve this issue, they just won't. We saw it in San Francisco in 2023, looking like a zombie apocalypse, and literally overnight...
Man, here's how I fix this issue. Here's how I would fix this issue if I was supreme dictator of the world, right? Put them in camps. Now, I know that sounds like a bad sentiment, but you put them in camps and you make them work. They got roofs over their head. They got maybe some sort of, they get food, whatnot. We're getting labor. And if they don't want to work, you kill them. In Minecraft. In Roblox. Maybe not in Roblox. Don't even what's going to happen in Roblox.
That city was cleaned up, turning into a dystopian nightmare. All because California Governor Newsom's communist friends from China came by to visit, to which he admits.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
Wow, look at that. The first time in the last 15 years that a politician has been honest. Impressive.
And right after, the city immediately returned to squalor, as apparently cleaning up the city is only reserved for impressing foreign elites, not the common Californian taxpayer. And I bring up homelessness and immigration in the same story, as just like homelessness not impacting their lives, not a single unvetted individual gets to live amongst Mayor Karen or Governor Newsom. It's just you, the citizen, that's forced to get groceries next to machete-wielding burglary suspects. And the
Man, when we were in Vegas, right? When we were in Vegas, we were at the Vegas meetup. Me, Atreus, and Kata went to a grocery store to get some liquor. Because we couldn't find an actual liquor store. So we just went to a grocery store to get some liquor, right? And it was, like, because again, I live in the Midwest. I'm not used to seeing shit behind. I see all the news reports, and I see all the, the things on YouTube and on X and whatnot. Like, these companies have to put their products behind, plastic or glass cases, and you have to get a person to open it for you and shit like that. I've never experienced that. We don't have that here, right? We don't have that shit here. So when we were in Vegas, and me, Atreus, and Kata, we had to walk into the grocery store, go through like a barred off entrance, and from that entrance we had to go around and like this square formation to get to the liquor section, which had another barred off entrance that needed open for us. Then we had to get somebody to open the case, get the liquor for us, take it to the checkout area, and then we had to walk to the checkout area and pay there. It was fucking insane. It was absolutely fun. And yes, America is safe by and large, Nini. If you're in a red state, America's safe. If you're in a blue state, it's not. It's that simple. Like, America by and large is safe by comparison. 100%. Compared to most other countries, absolutely. Now, are there other countries that are more safe? I mean, yeah. I would say like Japan, for example. More safe. Yeah. 3 fucking security checks at this grocery store in fucking Vegas to get fucking liquor. It was crazy, dog. Again, here where I live in the Midwest, dude, you just walk in the grocery store, you buy your shit, and you walk out. Dude, we got you could do self-checkout alcohol where I live. Like, whenever you ring up alcohol, it sends a little, like, notification to one of the, like, just the on-duty people at the store, and they just walk over, check your ID, and put in a little code on the self-checkout, and like, all right, you're good. Like, I can walk in the grocery store, do all my shopping, grab some vodka at the fucking shelf, and walk out. After fucking paying, obviously. So yeah, when I walked into that fucking grocery store, I had to go through 3 separate security checks to buy some fucking vodka and whiskey and shit. Actually, nah. I was with Kate and Atreus. We bought vodka and I think we bought, what's it called? Henny. So either way, yeah. That's how that shit goes down.
Governor Newsom gets his shifty mitts on anything, the worse it gets. As 7 months ago, we covered how they both botched the wildfire response.
While I live in the Midwest, I still live in a decent-sized city. I mean, we got almost 250,000 people. Quarter, maybe not that much. It probably goes to like 220,000. We have about 220,000 in the city I live in. So it's not like I'm in some bumfuck nowhere middle of oh, we got one Walmart and a post office sort of town where everything. No, I live in the city. Well, I live on the outskirts of the city technically, but the point is, I go into the city to get my groceries and shit.
any given day, wildfires still cover large parts of the state, with many of them still sitting at 0% containment. But what's our Governor Newsom focused on?
Respond to what's happening in Texas, and we will nullify what happens in Texas. We will pick up 5 seats with the consent.
They will nullify what happens in Texas. Bro, I don't think you understand Texas. Like, Texas ain't even part of America. Texas just Texas, dog. Texas just Texas.
Of the people.
Yeah, Max Sanford. You say you won Walmart. We've got, if you count Sam's Club, we've got 13 Walmarts. We've got like 5 super centers, 5 like Walmart marketplaces, and like 3 Sam's Clubs.
At 7 a.m., warning President Trump about redistricting and how he is America's favorite governor. 3 hours later, tweeting about how California crime is down and how President Trump is crooked. And 4 hours after that, still ranting about Trump, then saying he is the most handsome governor.
To be fair, so the city I live in, Matt, because it's in a rural area, the city never had to grow up. It keeps growing out. It keeps expanding. So I live in a very, like, spatially large city, so they're really spread out. I don't go to Walmart, by the way. I'm one of those bougie fucks. I don't go to Walmart. I can count on one hand how many times I've been to Walmart in the last probably 5 years. I go to other grocery stores just because, like, Walmart's got really bad quality meat. That's literally the main reason. Walmart's got bad quality meat. And since I'm on the carnivore diet and all I eat is meat, yeah, I go to a bit nicer places.
I can't believe we're paying tax dollars to a guy that spends his entire day talking about Trump like he's his disgruntled ex-girlfriend and having his press team tweet about how handsome and popular he is. A huge percentage of his state is on fire,
what up,
with
Chill
the
Noir?
other parts riddled with machete-wielding maniacs, and that last part is just homeless people. But at least our tax dollars are focusing on the important things, like coddling a grown toddler's fragile ego.
Bro, how much do you think our tax dollars, or well, not ours, but Californians, hold on.
On the important things, like coddling.
Like, on a scale of 1 to P. Diddy baby oil, how much of your tax dollars do you think goes to hair gel? Like, I'm truly curious what the cent per taxpayer cost is for this motherfucker's hair gel. I live in suburban Arkansas, 1 Walmart. Oh, no, yeah, no, Arkansas is pretty great. Handful of fast food, 10 gas stations. I-40 cuts right through the heart of my town. I'm pretty sure I've driven on I-40 many, many times. Suburban Arkansas. What, I'm assuming around the Bentonville area? If I had to guess, the Bentonville area?
A grown toddler's fragile ego. As I'm even wearing this Spencer for Governor shirt, almost as a joke, as this is the guy from that MTV reality show. But at Spencer Pratt on IG is actually making a comeback, exposing all the shady things happening with the wildfire recovery around his LA home. It almost makes me forgive him for all the things he said about LC. Does that mean I watched The Hills as a kid? You can't prove that. But more importantly, do I think any of this qualifies him for elected office? Absolutely not. It's just at this point, we'd gladly accept a former teenage reality TV star over Governor Newsom, who just acts like he's a teenage reality TV star. So if you appreciate—
But that's true! I mean, that's so fucking true, though! I don't even have a comment for it. He just hits the nail on the head.
My concise, lighthearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Oops, didn't mean to hit that. Well, that was a fun video. I enjoyed that. That was definitely a fun video. There was really not a whole lot to commentate on. That was more just like, let's make fun of illegal immigrants and people who don't support the ICE raids and whatnot. So, hope you all enjoyed that. All right, we got about 45 minutes left of the stream, and it would not be a lunch hour stream if we did not talk about the ongoing payment processor and collective shout situation. Let me go ahead and refresh this real quick, because I think this video is more than a day old at this point, even though this was one sec. Fuck out of here with that ad blocker bullshit. All right. Yeah, 2 days ago, payment processors just admitted they're beyond the law. So we've been talking about this payment processor issue for a hot minute now, for obvious reasons. Come on, YouTube. Dude, YouTube been throwing a bitch fit because I use ad blocker. Hold on a sec. But yeah, we've been talking about the payment processor issue, and all right, finally.
Okay, let's hit the big.
And it's not gonna. I do not plan on stopping the coverage of this. I do not plan on stopping the coverage of this until something is done. Now, what? I'm not sure. But I mean, there's all of us in this sphere and in other spheres got to continuously talk about this, because it is just, again, I say it every stream, an existential threat to our freedom. So yeah, payment processors just admitted they're beyond the law. Let's go.
Okay, let's hit the big question. Who controls the games that you can buy? Now, after the last few weeks, we kind of know the answer. We know that it's the payment processors and the companies like MasterCard, Visa, Stripe, and PayPal that power them. You got the payment processors, you got the card networks, there's a lot of stuff, but here's the thing. It doesn't actually matter if a game is legal. It doesn't matter what jurisdiction you're in. If they don't want a game sold on a platform that they support, they can exert pressure.
Correct. Now, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know about this guy's content. I've never seen it nor heard of it before. So there could be some shit. In fact, a lot of shit we already know in this video. I'm not entirely sure. But when it's titled they just admitted they're beyond the law, I want to know what he digs into. So even if there's a lot of repeat information or stuff we already know, let's just bear with it and we'll roll with it. See if there's any new info here. Because the more people talking about this, the better. Even if they're taking their time compiling info that we as gamers already know, things like that.
They can, and they do. And what that means is, well, the shareholders of MasterCard and Visa effectively are able to determine what kind of games you can play, what you can read, what you can watch. And the last few weeks have proved something important. A lot of people are really pissed off about that. Now look, they maybe also don't want to go and enjoy the latest furry porn game, but for a lot of us, it's the principle that matters.
And this is the part that so many people need to understand. It is the principle, it is the idea that these folks can shut your shit down arbitrarily for whatever reason. It has not to do with the content within the games. It has to do with the fact that if they can do this to these games, they can do it to any game, they can do it to any product, period.
It's that we think MasterCard aren't the people who should be defining legitimate art. So, what's anyone actually doing about this?
What do I think about Balula? Is that who this is? I don't, yeah, okay, Balula. I don't know. I've never seen him before until this video. So I don't have an opinion on him. But just like anything else, I'm going to have an opinion on, as I watch this, the quality of the content itself on an individual basis.
What are you doing? What are we doing? What's the path forward? And as if there's not enough BS going on, guess what? A lot of hacks happen. As an example, British Telecom being
Also,
hacked.
you say it's not what I think. I don't have an opinion one way or the other on this video yet. I haven't seen it. This could be, his solution could be a terrible solution, and I'll call it out. So yeah, no, I don't just watch videos that confirm my bias. So yeah, I mean, if he's wrong, we'll call him out for being wrong. If he's right, we'll call him out for being right.
Which actually exposed data of my partner and family, and it is exactly why I use today's sponsor Incogni. It's because they're our only way to fight back. And that's because whenever data leaks, data brokers harvest it up and they sell it on.
We always let the ad reads play out on these because, you know, we're aping their content. We may as well give them this.
Solves this problem by automating the legal work that you would otherwise have to do. And if you join at incogni.com/Bellular News, you'll get 60% off an annual plan. And here's how it works. You enter your info, and that's it. It's literally that easy. They take it from there. Now, you've got a legal right to get your data taken down, but that involves, well, you know...
It's good to know, Chill Noir.
Work. It takes hours, and it's not permanent. What Incogni does is automatically scan the brokers, send takedown requests...
So, I pay for YouTube Plus on my personal account, Sebrew, but on... YouTube is retarded in that it makes you pay, if you have multiple accounts, you have to pay for each account. And my Words of Paradise account is separate than my personal account because, keeping business and personal separate. So I'm paying for YouTube Plus twice.
Due to suppression lists. It does it all automatically, and they constantly rescan so your data is actually kept down. Take a look at my data. My takedown data, not the real stuff. 206 requests sent, 12 in progress, 194 completed, and I'm on 23 suppression lists. That's pretty damn legit peace of mind, and incogni.com/BellyWithNews, you get 60% off an annual plan, so check them out using my link today. First up today, there's the pressure these companies currently face. The pressure from you. Now, do you remember the recent MasterCard thing that they responded to, right? They said they were responding to recent headlines. Now, those headlines appeared because you made enough noise. Developers raised hell, the press picked it up worldwide, and just get a load of these numbers.
And my worry is that this story is dying. Because yes, they did make noise. We all made noise. They came out and made statements. They were lying statements. They were factually inaccurate statements. They were straight up deceitful statements. But they did make statements, which means that there's at least acknowledgement that what we're doing is working. That being said, if this story dies, they go back to their own ways. And that's what this is. This is a war of attrition, and they just need to wait out people getting bored of this story. That's why I continue to cover this story on every single stream. You guys might be getting bored of it. Don't know, don't care. Because this, again, it goes beyond games. This is a threat to our freedoms of how we spend our own money. This goes beyond any sort of government. This goes beyond, this is a far bigger issue than I think a lot of people realize. And yes, unless we continue this being a mainstream source of information and make sure this story stays in the public eye, nothing will get done.
Right? Nearly 234,000 signatures on the change.org petition, which is really where change happens. Obviously, that won't have legal weight, but it does send a fairly clear message about how widespread the anger is. And it is global as well. Industry bodies from Germany to Japan are urging stores to defend their legal sales against these payment processor tactics. Some companies are also deciding that opposition is actually just good business. GOG are one example there, so they didn't face any pressure to remove games, but of course, never waste a good crisis. They worked out that they can just give away a bundle of mature games to 1 million people over the weekend, make a nice...
Did it bother anyone else? He said GOG instead of GOG. Is it just me? It really bothered me he said GOG instead of GOG.
Big statement, and of course, got a whole bunch of PR, got a bunch of press. And their argument is that this censorship is, to them, no different from DRM or any other form of corporate control over your media. So summing it all up, consumers, stores, press have raised absolute goddamn hell. And that support actually matters now that the industry has started to look for solutions. Now, before we get to the industry efforts, we gotta talk about America, because people are pointing to this executive order saying that it's kind of the solution.
You should always talk about America, because America's the fucking best. Fuck everyone else.
Solution to our problem here, basically saying it will save gaming from payment processor censorship. Now, let's actually take a look at what it does. And overall, you see that it targets, quote, politicized or unlawful debanking. And the way this executive order is framed, especially like the first sort of paragraph or 2 paragraphs, is basically all about reactions to January 6th and to Operation Checkpoint. So, essentially, it's targeting cases where banks deny services based on political beliefs or religious views. Basically, the administration is protecting people flagged for shopping at Cabela's, gun shops, energy companies, but very much not video.
And this is why I have issues with this executive order. While you could potentially broadly paint with a broad brush and get it to also talk about video games, that's the executive order is designed for protecting users from payment processors, regardless of the content, as long as it's legal content. It is mostly aimed at the political, and I think that gaming companies, or not gaming companies, but payment processors will use loopholes and weasel words to still make this applicable to gaming or to content that they think should be censored if they can find a way to put it outside the purview of it being politically motivated. Now, I want to be wrong about this, And I do still think this is a good step, but yes, I don't think that this is enough, but I'll be wrong. And, like I said, Raven, I don't have premium on my Words of Paradise account because I have premium on my personal account, which is separate from Words of Paradise.
Games, not adult games. Those are not mentioned at all. Now, gaming Twitter in some spaces has kind of just taken this to mean that MasterCard can't censor anymore. But that's quite simply not the case if you actually read the executive order, because there's a key phrase, and I'm going to read it for you. Banking decisions must be based on, quote, individualized, objective, and risk-based analyses.
And this is what I said on Saturday Night Hypnosis when we covered this. Was that Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, any of them could just say, it is a risk to our business to allow this sort of content to be purchasable even though it's legal. When I was reading through this and when I covered it, this was the exact conclusion I came to. That this portion right here is going to be the loophole that the payment processors use.
So, here's the thing. If you were to ask MasterCard, like their response to this, they would say that that's what they're already doing. So as I see it, this order kind of changes nothing for adult games. And the reason why is that payment processors are not banning content for political reasons. They're quite simply saying that it's a business risk. And under this order, them doing something, accepting business or not accepting business because they see it as a risk, is perfectly fine and something.
Now, hypothetically, they could do the same thing with, for example, guns. Like, again, people that shopped at Cabela's or Bass Pro Shops or anything like that. No. I'm saying I don't pay for premium twice. Anyway, people that shop at Bass Pro or Cabela's or whatnot, hypothetically, there's been attempts to debank them because, they're more likely to be a right-wing extremist because they're shopping at these outdoor shops. We all know that lefties don't ever go fucking outside. So, yes, now they could make the same argument that, hey, people might not want to use our service if our services allow the purchase of firearms. It's not political. It's risk-based analysis. Like, again, this goes beyond video games.
That they can do. Basically, what would happen is MasterCard would look at your adult game.
What up, Rachel? What up, Ron?
Write a report. They talk about high chargeback rates, reputational risk, legal liability concerns, and boom, there you go. Objective, risk-based, individualized. So essentially, this order protects, quote, lawful business activities. But payment processors never said that adult games were illegal. That's not the claim they're making. They just said that they were risky. It's a different argument. It's a different problem. And this executive order is not targeted towards this specific problem. Gaming Twitter might be celebrating, but while they are,
See? And I was called defeatist and I was called black pill when I said this wouldn't work. But again, this was my argument. It was never about this shit being illegal. Never. And that's my point. My point is, and has always been, these products aren't illegal. You call them immoral. That's fine. I find these products to be immoral. But that does not mean that Big Daddy government or Big Daddy tech or the payment processors or the financial industrial complex should have a say in it. But they do. And we need to find a way to combat that. And this executive order, the way it's written, does not seem like it actually combats that. That's not me being blackpilled. That's just me reading the executive order as written and seeing a massive flaw in the wording.
MasterCard's lawyers will literally be laughing because with the wording of this order, they now have a clear pathway to prove compliance and, of course, to earn some money for writing up some legal reports. So, this is not a win. This quite simply is the status quo with extra paperwork. You shouldn't really expect this to be
bureaucracy at its finest, baby.
Because it's not really a story about political speech. So with that mentioned, let's dive into the efforts that are being made on this specific issue by the games industry. There are people within these systems who have got small amounts of collective power.
Mad shout out to Resident Evil 3 right there, baby. Look at that. Thing of beauty. Resident Evil 3, the best Resident Evil game in the original trilogy. God, what a time to be alive.
And they're equally frustrated. Across the industry, we're seeing trade bodies leveling complaints. Now, not all of these carry the same weight, and very few will be as radical as, say some players and developers would like. They're not going to demand total free expression or an end to all censorship. Take as one example, the International Game Developers Association. You may know them from a little event they run called GDC. Now, they say they're...
And GDC is... dude, look at any of my old content from last year. I covered the GDC, talks, what are they called? Like the GDC panel talks extensively. These are the most DEI influenced pro-censorship, hate straight white male gamer chud outlets out there. Alyssa Mercante, for example, frequently speaks at this event. Or has, if not speaks, gets inside, or at least used to get when she was with Kotaku, press invites to cover these events. They can make all the statements about being quote-unquote anti-censorship they want. They're not. This is a guise. This is a front. They're only saying it now because it's affecting them.
Quote, seriously alarmed at the pressure on stores from payment providers. And they essentially frame the whole thing as censorship. And they're particularly strong in this because it's impacting LGBTQ minority developers in an outsized way. Now, if it was not influencing, or if it was not affecting their global homo agenda, they wouldn't give a fuck. Let's flip the script. Let's say that the payment processors were going after exclusively right-wing games, like the Donald Trump fan games and shit like that. They wouldn't give a fuck. In fact, the opposite. They would support Visa and MasterCard and PayPal for taking the steps to ban this egregious spread of Nazi propaganda. That is 100% what they'd be doing. They only give a fuck because so many of these Gooner games has a lot of global homo in it. And that goes against their agenda. Now, obviously, they can't just say, hello, we're the international game developers, go change your policies. They just literally can't do that. They don't have that pull. But they can warn about impact. So, what do they ask for? Well, they basically ask for transparency from everyone, for clear frameworks for approval, appeals processes from stores, and from payment providers. Somehow, I think the idea that MasterCard could be judging something's artistic value is, not really what they want. Now, they're pointing some developers towards adult industry compliant payment processors. The sketchy ones who will do, like, porn subscriptions and stuff. And they're basically...
And that doesn't matter. That's not an answer. That is a band-aid. Like, there are adult, the porn sites for people that are retarded and losers and pay for them. Yeah, obviously there's payment processors that allow those, which means there are payment processors out there that would allow for these games. But that's a band-aid. It's not, because the overarching issue is that these motherfuckers have control of your money. That is the issue. Like, if people have control over your money, then it's not your money.
Telling both devs and players to reach out to register your displeasure directly with payment processors, which of course we know people are already doing. So with all that going on, the onus is now on the payment processors to change their policies. However, that's probably not something we can rely on. So what about a more structural solution? One with real teeth? Well, that's where we go to the United Kingdom's
Society of
UK.
Lenders.
Their statement's fairly interesting, and they're a developer trade body that just joined the new UK Video Games Council. Basically, they don't want to openly campaign against UK government policy, which is, a little bit awkward given the whole Online Safety Act that's kind of tearing up the internet right now. So they can't argue.
That was a whole lot of fancy words for him to say they're spineless.
Argue for a game like No Mercy on artistic grounds because, well, it's theoretically illegal. So their solution is, you're going to be shocked, guys. It's something we've had for years. Age ratings. Basically, the PEGI classification should be enough for payment processors, stores, and the public to make an informed choice. Which does seem...
What is the point of the fucking ESRB if we're not going to be able to buy games anyway that are rated by the ESRB? Now, I've got a lot of issues with the ESRB. I don't like them. I don't like any. I think they are soft busybodies that have no. It's just like the rating in films, right? Rating in movies. We've grown so soft as a fucking nation that, like, Beetlejuice back in the day was rated PG. I think that's fine. Beetlejuice is a PG movie. Why? What does PG mean? Parental guidance. If you're watching this movie, you should be watching it with parental guidance if you're under a certain age. Why? Because Beetlejuice does shit like grab his dick and say, nice fucking model. Yeah. If I was a parent, it's probably good to know there's stuff like this in this film that I should be weary of and guide my kids towards what I'm going to be watching with them. Shit like that, right? Nowadays, something like that in a movie, that's R. That's rated R. Beetlejuice, by today's standards, or is at the very least PG-13. How do we know? Well, Beetlejuice got a sequel last year, and instead of being rated PG, it was PG-13. And it's an even softer sequel than the original film. So yes, I have an issue with these rating boards and rating companies and stuff like that, because as the society softens, their rating process hardens. Shit that would have been E for everyone or T for teen back in the day is now T for teen or M for mature or whatnot. Just like how movies that would have been rated PG or PG-13 are now R. Yes, 80s PG. Exactly. 80s PG, very different than modern PG. When was the last time you saw a movie rated G theatrically? Like, it's shit like that. So, but with all my issues with the ESRB, with all my issues with the Films Rating Guild or whatever it's called, this is the sort of the best we got. If we already have the ESRB, then why the fuck are these payment processors banning shit or blocking shit? There is an informed consent already with being able to look at what the rating of the game is.
Sensible to me. It's almost as if this entire thing is a completely stupid waste of time, and we've already got structures to solve this problem, like age ratings. And the scope of those systems already covers for, quote, adult or experimental content. So, if a game is being reviewed and given clear context, payment providers should be comfortable that there's no illegal aspect. So effectively, as long as a game is rated, it should be sold.
Correct.
And logistically, that already exists.
Also
to be
correct.
honest with you, makes this entire story all the more bizarre, because it really does sound like a complete non-issue. But you probably won't be surprised that that's not all the entire story.
It is a non-issue. So what's the real reason for this? What's the real reason? If we already have the rating system, if this is already a non-issue, then what's the real reason? Which is what I keep telling you guys, stream after stream, day after day, video after video, because it's not about any of that. This is about control. It is about exercising control over you, over the content you can purchase, more importantly, over your money. Because if they can seize control of that, then they have every avenue to force a global cultural change. And what does that eventually lead to? Living in the pods and eating the bugs and being happy.
Story. So, PEGI ratings, they exist. They are actually legally enforceable, but the age challenge usually happens at purchase, at least say for physical games. And the bigger problem here is online digital stores where hundreds of games are released every single day. But here's the thing, we've literally already solved that problem. The IARC. This essentially brings together a bunch of game rating boards. You've got the ESRB, you've got PEGI, you've got Germany's USK, and under their free system, developers submit games to online stores. Now, the content survey then automatically...
The 1984 is the blueprint. Correct. We are living in... So basically, we are living in the prequel to 1984 right now. Correct.
Assigns a generic rating, and then it matches categories for each regional board. And this does actually matter because, say, Germany and Brazil don't allow for unclassified game sales. That's part of another fun Protect the Kids Act called the German Youth Protection.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Australia doesn't either. Because Schedule 1 was at one point, I heard it got unbanned, but at one point, Schedule 1 was banned in Australia. Not for drug use or anything, but because since it was in early access, it didn't have a rating yet, and Australia banned it not for the drug stuff, but because it didn't have a rating. Therefore, it was not enforceable to kids versus teens versus adults, whatnot. I think that was reversed. I've heard it is now purchasable in Australia again, but there was a period of a few weeks where you could not get the game in Australia.
Action Act that came in 2016, where any game in Germany has to be rated by that ratings board. Now, on Steam, that means that unrated games get geo-blocked. So, yeah, turns out for our friends in Germany, you guys are just missing loads of unrated games.
But you know what? A game getting geo-blocked is fine. Like, it's not ideal, but if the choice is between the payment processors shutting your shit down globally or individual countries just having people follow certain laws, I will definitely take the individual companies just having games follow the laws and rules of their state at an individual level. It's still not ideal, but it's better than the payment processors making taking global actions that affects everybody. So again, why would the processors do this? Control. All about control.
Now, this is mostly just impacting older games from before any of these systems existed, but Yuki's argument here is simple, right? If this legally enforceable system exists, payment processors should trust it, right? Why do they have to bother just stepping into this entire thing? Is it literally just they're so afraid that a group like Collective Shout can create bad headlines that they're just being way oversensitive? Because in theory, this exists and it should protect everyone. Now, it's not perfect. There are issues. It still does concentrate power with bigger stores who can implement these systems easily. It does increase bureaucracy for indie devs who only distribute to a handful of people, and there's the worst case scenario, something like Steam China, essentially a region-locked storefront where only compliant games exist, because IARC doesn't necessarily distinguish between content that's illegal in the UK, but legal everywhere else. And there are risks to this, as pointed out by Bruno Diaz and other writers. Basically, age ratings create a binary from a gray area. They give payment processors a clear threshold to target, and they could simply just refuse to process any adult-only sale. Just like, as an example, US physical stores refusing to stock adult-only games. Or they could go into...
Right. But so when a US store refuses to stock not just games, not just adult-only games, but any product, that is the store, that is the company making that choice. That is not a global payment processor or a global institution of any sort exerting control over a person's own money. Now, Walmart doesn't want to have Gooner games. Shit, they don't gotta. That's their choice. They don't have to sell fucking Playboy. Fuck. They don't want to sell a certain kind of goddamn shampoo. They don't have to. That is their choice. And the difference here is when the payment processors are now saying, we will not... Let's say Walmart wanted to sell a certain brand of shampoo, right? And the payment processors, Visa, MasterCard, whatever, said, not only do we not want you selling that shampoo, if you sell that shampoo, we will take your down Visa or MasterCard payments for the entirety of your company. So now, not only can you not sell shampoo, but you can't sell anything. That oh-so-good fried chicken from your fake deli section, yeah, can't sell that. People, yeah, you could sell it, but people can't use Visa or MasterCard to buy it. Well, people can't use Visa or MasterCard to buy it, which are the two biggest payment processors. Why would Walmart carry it? Like, that's the thing. They're shutting down effectively entire storefronts by saying if you sell even one thing that we don't like, it'll effectively put your entire operation out of business.
And removal of all 18+ games per their policy, which of course, right now we do know is literally possible. And that's because Steam does work with IARC. Their games have got these ratings, and the biggest PC gaming store still had to delist legal content. Again, the reason why is that payment processors wanted it gone, even though all this age rating stuff should basically solve the problem. But here's the takeaway. Germany's law changed, and then every company had to comply, just like we're seeing.
The one benefit that is they're helping crypto and likely more people start using cash more. While that is a benefit, it is still a net negative because a benefit does not mean inherently positive. So let's say that this issue, let's say we got a sliding scale with 0 in the middle. If this issue is a -10, all right, people using crypto and cash more might bump it up by 5 points, but that's still a -5. We are still at a net negative.
With the UK's OSA, and as long as companies can suppress customers based on these policies, they obviously will. And that is why so many in the United States have suggested that audiences support a law to change that. As if this video couldn't get any sexier, many people are pointing to S.401, the Fair Access to Banking Act. Fun little thing, and was recently reintroduced to the US legislature. It's designed to prevent payment processors from...
I get what you mean, but I don't think it matters. Like, yes, that's good, but the whole situation as a whole is still a net negative. So, like, if you are in the negative and a positive thing happens, but you're still in the negative, then, okay, great, the positive thing happened, but let's focus about getting out of the net negative. So, I do get what you're saying, I just don't think it matters.
Using funds for arms sales, energy companies, or crypto. And I don't know, I guess, hopefully video games as well. Basically, each industry faced public pressure. Payment processors and banks were refusing service after protests. And obviously, well, the gaming audience looked at all of this and saw a completely obvious opportunity. Any law mandating that banks only refuse illegal transactions would theoretically cover adult games. Legal, which, if I'm honest, is a rather noble reading of the bill, but reality is a little bit different. Payment processors can still apply, quote, risk-based standards, which, you know, is quite a lot of wiggle room. Essentially, they'd be able
and
to...
this is why these companies need to be treated as utilities. Because that risk-based standards idea goes out the window. Again, your internet company... or not, maybe that's a bad example. Your electric company, your water company, they can't shut your shit down because you're watching porn, even if they disagree with porn. Like, it's that simple. They need to be treated as utilities. But they're not going to do that. They lobby against shit like that, and the uniparty is in their pocket.
Reject customers and transactions. They would just need stricter terms and transparency about why. Now, for the bill's intended targets with, you know, expensive legal teams, right? All the lawyers that are backing up the guns, well, this gives ammunition to overturn those prohibitions. But for someone making a tiny indie smut game, probably wouldn't help the same way. But more importantly, it does kind of miss the point. If these games are considered pornographic, then, well, they're more likely to be legislated out of existence. And that's especially because current US government policy does expand that definition, not protect it. So, while this may seem like protection for games, gotta be real with you, it is a Hail Mary. And because a Hail Mary isn't exactly something we can trust, well, the best thing we can do is probably to keep listening to the impacted developers, so we can actually see what the hell's going on. So what do these devs want? Well, they want support from players. Hardly surprising. They want more calls. They want more pressure on payment processors. It's one of the reasons why, honestly, I'm doing this video, right? We want to cover what's actually going on, what you guys can actually do, and I guess in a way, keep the whole story alive. Now, things were not necessarily good before, but they were.
And at the end of the day, that is the biggest benefit to covering shit like this. Because, I mean, he has not said anything in this video that's new information to any of us that have been paying attention. Like, not at all. This entire video, you could say, is a 17-minute waste of time. Now, I disagree with that because of what he just said there at the end. Keep the story alive. So, no matter how... There obviously needs to be something, quote-unquote, new to each addition to the story. You can't just, you know, keep saying the same thing over and over. At least not in video content. Like, I can't keep saying the same thing over and over because people will get tired of hearing it. The videos won't get clicks, therefore the message won't get spread. It just gets lost in the ether. And the payment processors never hear it. But the point is, this issue as a whole needs to be addressed, even if it's just with drip-fed new information every single time. Because keeping the story alive is the most important aspect. It is. Like, keeping the story alive is the most important aspect Because when it falls apart, when the story dies, then they have free reign to do whatever they want.
Functional. Steam and itch respected their work, right? Even if it is for, shall we say, select audiences of connoisseurs. Minor sarcasm alert. Now, as for the groups who are agitating all of this stuff, like say Collective Shout, well, they've been opposed to what these people have been making for a very long time indeed, and they're using decades-old playbooks, just they're doing it with modern tools. Targeting creators for making works that they personally don't want to see is essentially their MO. This sort of opposition is not a brand new thing. You know, we had the Satanic Panic. We had all of the video game violence stuff that happened, like, was it sort of early 2000s and stuff? Remember the
It goes back further than the early 2000s. I mean, the Satanic Panic was the 80s. You had the video game censorship of that was the 90s. That was Columbine. And again, so many people want to make this a left and right issue. It's not a left and right issue. It is a fucking uniparty issue. This has always been a uniparty issue. Back in the 90s, yeah, Tipper Gore may have spearheaded it, but it wasn't a fucking left-leaning issue. You had a whole lot of politicians on the right that also wanted to censor video games. Oh, video games cause violence. It's the same now. Why is it a uniparty issue? Because politicians of both sides are in bed with Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, etc., etc., etc. These companies, these corporations, they donate to political campaigns on both sides. Anybody that tries to make this a left or right issue is retarded. Now, Collective Shout is a right-wing, quote-unquote, feminist group. Yes, they are. But them being right-wing as an organization doesn't alter the fact that the payment processors, the people they are taking this to, are funding the uniparty.
Mass Effect Fox controversy, it's just the same thing happening again. The difference is impact. Because, well, social media, headlines, all of that stuff, I think is quite a bit more powerful now. That does mean that the likes of MasterCard...
I mean, I've been saying that for ages. Yes, company donations should not be allowed. Correct. Lobbying should not be allowed. Correct.
...are getting quite conservative.
Rabnad, feminism is a scourge. You need to put right wing. Feminism is a scourge. Doesn't matter what side it's coming from.
Any sort of, ideological sense, I mean conservative in terms of risk. They don't want it. But here's the thing I want you to remember, because I've seen lots of comments that are basically saying, look, I don't play games like this. Why the hell should I care that, a bunch of perv games could go off Steam? Well, it's basically
correct,
because,
Bobby, correct.
What if the standards change? What if this becomes something that is fairly normal? And, the sorts of things that are going on today to protect a certain category.
And it depends on where you're traveling to. It is cheaper for me to travel to Japan than Disney World, for example. Like, I've ran the numbers. As someone that's gone to Disney World and plans on going to Japan very soon, like, yeah, it is cheaper to go to Japan than fucking Disney World. So, I mean, there's no way to answer that.
Of games. Well, what if we actually lose and those games lose out? But the likes of Collective Shout and the probably hundreds upon hundreds of other similar groups, well, just go for the next target, the next bit of low-hanging fruit. And we do this thing again. You run that experiment over 10 years or 20 years, what is the direction of travel? I think that is what actually worries people, and that's why we want to nip this in the bud. That's why we want to be galvanized.
Sturgeon with a two-banger says credit cards and lenders are a scam to begin with. Bingo, bango, bongo. I couldn't agree more. 100%. Here's your clip, brother.
Name one word that starts with G pronounced like J. Gentrification. Shoot, should have thought of that. I was just in San Francisco.
Thank you so much for the donation, Sturgeon. Truly appreciate it, homie.
Here. Why we don't just focus on the games we play, why we actually focus on the principles, and how principles underpinning our medium are under attack. The least that we can do is argue in their favor when we can. That's why this video exists. Of course, if you've been in contact with the good folks over at MasterCard or Visa, let us know what they've told you. And if you want to see how Valve kind of forced a statement out of MasterCard, well, you should watch this video next.
Alright, so that was an interesting video. It was an alright video. I wouldn't say there was a particularly great one because, again, it didn't, at least not for those of us that have been talking about this for a while already. Like, that's actually a really good video for normies. that might be new to this situation, but it didn't really add anything new to those of us that have been covering it day in, day out. But it did do its job, and its most important job is what he said near the end there, which is keeping this story alive. And that is the most important part, keeping the story alive. So all in all, definitely worth it. Glad we went through it. Glad we saved it for last. It's definitely a strong way to end the stream and whatnot, which we are going to be doing. It's been another great lunch hour. But yeah, I guess in final thoughts, just if you guys are on X, keep posting about this, keep sharing, keep retweeting, keep clowning on the payment processors, keep calling Visa and MasterCard and politely saying, hey, yo, what the fuck? You know, I call your congressman, I guess. I mean, I ain't a fan of that whole government shit, but all in all, take any and all steps you can, because this is not just a U.S. issue, this is a global issue. And we know because they bypassed the regular world governments and went directly for the payment processors who do have complete control. So at the end of the day, it's a huge beast, it's a huge demon. It's something that seems nearly impossible to fight. That being said, we're going to go ahead and get on out of here. I will see you all on Saturday Night Hypnosis over on Hypno's channel. And then for those of you that are members and are in the Discord, we are doing immediately after, yes, worldwide issue, like Epstein, exactly, correct. After Saturday Night Hypnosis, I will see you all in the vocal minorities section of my Discord, and we will be watching War of the Worlds, the Ice Cube War of the Worlds movie. That's what you guys voted on for our very first Discord watch party. So, without further ado, I will see you guys later. I'm going to grab some food, play some video games, and until next time, Discord link, I try to join, Neon Earth, I will update the Discord link when this when this stream ends. So, yeah, the link only exists for 7 days, so it may have been 7 days since it was last updated. Give it about 5 minutes or so, and there will be a new link posted on my community tab. So, yeah, give it about 5 minutes, I will post a new link on the community tab. Until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere, and this has been Words of Paradise.